TV, we are live from Kampala's Senate Conference Center. Now, in the closed circles of internet, the laws of vegan predators take advantage of those loopholes to attack the people, especially the women. Now, to speak to us about this and more, we have Dorothy Mukasa, the Executive Director of Unwanted Witness, an internet rights and advocates group. Good morning, Dora.
Morning, Andrew.
It's very exciting to see you this early morning, and we're talking about this now from the very beginning. You have a new report out on the cyber harassment on women. So what did your report find?
Thank you, Andrew, and good morning, viewers. First of all, I would like to mention why we went out to do research on this particular subject. We realized that the harm and violation of women using ICT is trivialized.
Okay.
By especially the different actors, the state, the private sector, the civil society, and even women themselves. You know, because nobody comes out to really speak for these women, or even the laws, be aware that these laws exist. So we went out to find out what is the problem. There are reoccurrences of violence against women online over and over. But then the laws that this country has enacted, what is the problem? So we wanted to examine the availability and effectiveness of the laws, how they respond to these vices, and whether they can really prevent reoccurrence of the.
Well, just to bring you to speed, I don't doubt what you found out on ground, but do people understand cyber harassment, for starters?
That's one of the the area that we examined. We realized that majority victims and survivors do not understand that they're really being harassed.
Me, I've reported 3 and I've imprisoned 4 people who harassed me online.
That's great.
Yes,
that's great.
Because I understand the law.
Everybody has a right to report any sort of harassment that they receive online. But unfortunately, majority of our citizens do not understand. That is their right to be online, first of all, but also it's their freedom and rights to express themselves without being attacked by any other user. So there are laws that really, and it's good that, Andrew, you've tested these laws.
Yes, you know? I have reported, and one time some other person equally reported me because I posted something he found derogatory to his pastor. And we went to police. I followed the entire process, and it's such a very interesting, because the Computer Misuse Act is active in our country.
Yes.
But people don't understand how it works. Now, what is the divide between those who know that the laws are there and they don't practice the law?
Well, according to our research, over 80% of our respondents do not know that there are laws, and they do not know that they can actually go to the law enforcement or even to court to report these vices. If somebody harasses them, they do not know that they have a redress. So that means that gap is really huge, and so many people are
Why don't they trust the police? Why have they lost trust in the
But
system?
we've also had cases, testimonies, ladies telling us they went to police and all police could tell them, please change your password, get off the internet for a while.
Can you imagine?
So, I mean, these also push factors that really push away factors.
I want you to look straight in the cameras and you tell the women and the Ugandans that it's their right to go and find this right.
Dear women and Ugandans, it's your right to go and report whoever harasses you. Remember, internet is a fundamental human right.
Yes.
Meaning that if you're harassed online, you have redress. You can go to courts of law, you can go to police. But incidentally, also a factor that really, because we should appreciate that technology is here with us, and everybody is using technology. But also, violence is a community problem. Okay. Now, when you go to police, there are units in every police station. There's a family and protection unit, you know, which ensures that girls and women and men within the family are protected. So we found out that in different police stations that we don't have a desk that really responds to violence online, you know, to abuses online. The only unit that is publicly available is the cyber crimes unit, which is in Chiburi. Now, not everybody is aware and access that.
They take time.
Exactly. So I think we need units, desks within the family and protection unit, but also capacity should be built for police officers who are manning these units, these desks, to be able to respond. I mean, you don't have to chase away somebody to ask them to change their password or even get off the internet.
To get offline. Why should
because
I get
they
offline?
don't have, because they have been assaulted by somebody, or they're being stalked, they're sexually being violated, harassed because they're using the internet. So that this desk should be available and services should be brought closer to the people, you know, because this is a community vice.
I totally understand, but given the number of women you spoke to, it's shocking that 80% they know the law is there, but they are not aware how best to practice it. What are some of their testimonies, those who have been cyberbullied or cyber harassed, and what steps did they take? Did they just take a step back, or did they go forward and say, this is my right, I'm going to vie for my right?
Oh, very few can stand up, according to testimonies. We've had very few ladies who have stood up and fought back. But majority is so traumatizing. There are those that have totally gone off the internet, you know. But we know that the internet is not just a tool for gossiping, so there are various benefits to
a lot of connections
to the internet. Yes, it causes economic harm because even if you're off the internet for purposes of playing safe, but I mean you are emotionally affected, and that person will not perform at work. Meaning they will withdraw from the performance will dwindle, and that means the economic. There's economic harm caused to that, but also the psychological harm. You know, it's very traumatizing for people who have
people abuse online.
People are traumatized. You know, and there is no supportive mechanism to ensure that if somebody is abused, if somebody is going through trauma, how are they rehabilitated? How are they supported? You know, we need these institutions. You know, that can be able to support victims and survivors of online violence, be it a man, be it a woman. You know, it affects us equally, only that according to research, women are more abused online.
More abused.
Yes.
What does the law say about cyber harassment, and who should be held accountable in that regard?
According to the Computer Misuse Act, cyber harassment is a crime, and anybody who is harassed online by use of a computer or an electronic gadget has a right to go and report and report to police for any redress. Okay, and however, when we are doing the research, we also engage the policy makers, because they're the makers of these laws.
Yes,
and they're also complaining about the penalties that we are putting into these laws.
The penalties don't seem to be really feasible.
They're not really
to the magnitude of the crime.
Exactly. For instance, if somebody is harassed according to the law, they're supposed to pay, a perpetrator is supposed to pay 240,000 as a penalty. I mean, how punitive is this?
You defame me online, you abuse me, you character assassinate me, and all you are going to pay me is 240,000. Come on.
Exactly. so that's not punitive at all, and it's not deterrent. So we'll continuously see people being abused because the laws are not punitive enough. But also the effect that a survivor or a victim goes through is not commensurate to the 240,000.
Yes.
You know, we need to up our games, especially the policymakers, to ensure that we have effective and adequate laws if we are to curb this vice of violence against women and men online. So we need to review our laws. There is need for government to finance, to put resources in ensuring that the police delivers to its mandate. Law enforcement is very, very critical. If we do not have capacity at the lowest unit of police that can enable anyone run to police for safety or for protection, then we are going to see many people, you know, withdrawing and people psychologically being hurt. But this can also lead to committing suicide. People die because of harassment online.
Depression.
Know? For many people who are online, you know how hurting somebody, how nagging, you know, stalkers can be.
Oh, yes.
You know how nagging, abusive online audience can be, you know. They can attack you and abuse you. I mean, we need to have safe spaces where people can go, report, and be sure that they're going to get justice.
Oh, yes.
Trust is very important
Very
for
key.
people to
I think government needs, much as it's going to do this, but imagine the whole of Kampala, the cybercrime unit sits at Chibuli. Now I'm looking at a woman who is in Kannabulem, who is cyber harassed. Where do they find the redress in that regard?
It's very, very touching, because access to justice is a right in itself. If government is to promote the right to access to justice, services should be down to the last person, down in the village. Where technology exists, we need to have enforcement of laws like Computer Misuse Act. Even in their weak stature, you know, they can be able to
fine-tune them along the way.
Yes, let's have them tested. You just gave a testimony, you tested it.
Oh yes.
And everybody can seek a redress through using the Computer Misuse Act until the penalties are really revised. But for now, this is what we have, and we must use it to ensure that our people, citizens, use technology responsibly, but also not violate the rights of their colleagues.
So moving forward, Dora, what needs to be done to make sure that women have a safe space online where they can interact, share ideas without being castigated or body shamed or whichever, and harassment?
The starting point for me is more of awareness.
Okay.
You know, we need to build a civic aware society, that everybody knows that it's a right for somebody to express themselves online, regardless of whether you identify with their view or not. You know, you don't have to attack them. It's very important for victims to know that they can report. You know, they can report whenever they are attacked. You know, awareness of the law is very critical for people to know, but awareness of their right is also very important. But also, we want, there should be partnership between the state and different civil society actors, because it's in the interest of the state to ensure that its citizens are protected.
Yes.
It's mandate to ensure that citizens are protected. But if cyber harassment is one of those technologies becoming a tool of repression for citizens, then government should be concerned, and they should be interested in partnering with civil society to ensure that there are mechanisms to ensure that people get justice, but also that people are aware that they have rights, but also responsibilities.
Oh yes.
You know, you should be responsible when you get online. You shouldn't abuse others. You shouldn't, you know, body shame a woman. You shouldn't, you know, post nudity over, you know, circulate somebody's nudity. You know, these are rights that should be protected, and this comes through awareness. But we also need to review our laws, like I said earlier. We need punitive actions against perpetrators. If the penalties are not punitive, people will continue, you know, with a lot of impunity. Exactly, with impunity, because they know they're untouchable, and whatever whatever punitive action is taken against them, you know, this is going to be met.
What could be the call to action to our citizens as we're wrapping up?
I'm calling upon all Ugandans. Ugandans should know that as you get onto the internet, you're supposed to be a responsible citizen.
Yes.
But also, when you're utilizing the internet, you are supposed to respect whoever you find on the internet. Yes. I mean, it should be two-way. I respect you, you respect me.
And we move.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So the Ugandans should know that internet is not, it's part of us. Whatever happens offline also happens online.
Online,
okay?
Yes.
But we should also get ourselves interested in laws that really govern our land,
oh, yes.
you know, that relate to the technology that we use. There are so many other laws that relate to the technology. For example, the Anti-Pornography Act. You know, all these laws affect the way we relate onto the internet.
Yes.
Because internet has become part of our lives,
yes.
we shouldn't shy away from knowing what laws that really govern the internet.
Thank you so much. That is Dorothy Mukatha, the Executive Director of Unwanted Witness, an Internet Rights and Advocacy Group. We'll take a break for now, but just so you know your right. No one should cyberbully you or harass you because they have data. You go report them and the law will take action.